Battle through the heavens, grand world. Chapter 230 The Mind of a Genius. After giving the white jade spirit lotus away, Yin Jushuan frowned. Just now, he had clearly seen the joy on Jade Fairy's face. He gritted his teeth and took a deep look at Xiao Yan. Then, he looked around and said in a clear voice, "This competition, I hope the younger generation can have a good time fighting amongst themselves." When the crowd heard this, their hearts twitched. This kind of battle between the younger generation was too shocking. Even the battles between some emperors were not as intense as the battle between Xiao Yan and Yin Kang. Where does Mr. Xiao plan to go in the future? While Yin Jushuan was forcing himself to smile and joke with the crowd, Yin Kang had his hands behind his back. The sand rolled up and blew his messy hair, revealing a determined face. There was not a trace of defeat in his eyes. He was destined to be a powerful expert in the future. Yin Kang glanced at Yin Jushuan, then looked at Xiao Yan and said faintly, "Yunluo Academy, that is my current goal." Xiao Yan didn't try to hide anything from him and replied with a loud voice. "Yunluo." Yin Kang smiled and nodded his head. The name of Yunluo Academy. Everyone in Star-Severing Mountain Range knew about it, but here, there were very few people who wanted to join the Yunluo, not for any other reason. The word, academy, made these geniuses frown. The true experts were trained through killing and fighting. They stayed in an academy that looked like an ivory tower. There wouldn't be any future for him. Yin Kang had once firmly believed such a statement. Until 7 months ago. At that time, he hadn't even started to comprehend the true meaning of the great Yin spirit arts. He had only cultivated a few great secret arts, and he had easily defeated all the young men around him who were called geniuses. Until one day, a young man from the Yunluo Academy came here to cultivate, and he had a battle with him. In just 3 moves, he had already vomited blood and fell to the ground. Yin Kang still remembered that in the violent sandstorm of Star-Severing Mountain Range, the young man's black hair was like a waterfall, and his eyes were like stars. His black robe was fluttering in the wind, and his sturdy body was like a huge mountain. Just by standing there, it gave him an insurmountable feeling. It was precisely because of that stimulation that he calmed down and made up his mind to completely comprehend the great Yin spirit arts. Yunluo Academy, there is indeed a genius in that place. Even I am afraid of him. Yin Kang let out a long sigh, but there wasn't much loneliness in his tone. His pride and hatred had long disappeared in front of that young man. If Mr. Xiao can see Lin Dao in Yunluo Academy, please greet him on my behalf. Yin Kang smiled. That young man, just like Xiao Yan, had left an unforgettable impression on him. Lin Dao. Xiao Yan had a strange expression on his face. He immediately thought of Lin Jian from the Purple Radiance sect, but he couldn't figure out how these two knew each other. After a moment of hesitation, Xiao Yan nodded his head. It seemed that whether it was Lin Jian or Yin Kang, he was destined to have a relationship with this guy named Lin Dao. Yin Kang turned around and left. His voice was clearly heard by Xiao Yan. "I want to stay here and understand all the mysteries of the great Yin spirit arts. After that, I will go to the Mingyan divine domain. There is a big sect there called the Deacon sect. I heard that there is a complete Yin scroll there." Xiao Yan was startled when he heard Yin Kang's words. What was a Yin scroll? Many thanks for your support. The disciples of the Medicine Pavilion have obtained the first place in this competition to celebrate. All of you can go to the Medicine Pavilion to buy herbs at half price. Jade Fairy also stood up at this moment. Her charming voice resounded throughout the entire scene. Her beautiful smile attracted the attention of everyone present. Haha, congratulations Jade Fairy. Medicine Pavilion is really blessed to have such an outstanding disciple. When everyone heard this, they also opened their mouths one after another. Most of them wanted to curry favor with Jade Fairy. Naturally, there were also many old alchemists who were happy for Jade Fairy's magnanimity. Under Yin Jushuan's gloomy gaze, Jade Fairy smiled and nodded at Xiao Yan. After that, she walked towards the profound Yin castle. Xiao Yan immediately understood what was going on. He looked around and immediately followed after her. Send a few smart ones to keep an eye on the Medicine Pavilion. Tell me once Xiao Yan leaves. Yin Jushuan's expression was cold and cold. A cold light flashed in his eyes. He said to the profound Yin sect's longtime elder with a voice full of killing intent. Old Su of profound Yin sect nodded his head with a cold expression. Xiao Yan's inexplicable flame. He was also very curious about it. Seeing Jade Fairy and Xiao Yan leave, Zhao Qingshan let out a cold snort. A trace of cold light flashed across his eyes. He looked at Zhao Shuo, who had regained consciousness and had a pale face. After leaving, behind him, Zhao Shuo looked at Xiao Yan's back with a pale face. When he woke up just now, he had already understood the outcome of this match through the whispers of the crowd. That guy, how could he be so strong? Jade Fairy walked in front and slowed down after she left the crowd's line of sight. When Xiao Yan came over, she had a smile on her face. The smile on her face was like a star tearing apart the night sky. It was bright and dazzling, and it moved people's hearts. Her eyes were like a crescent moon, revealing a warm gaze. At this moment, Xiao Yan had already changed his clothes. He took out the jade box containing the white jade spirit lotus and handed it to the former. He grinned and said, "Fortunately, I did not fail the task." Jade Fairy looked at the tall and straight young man in front of her. The smile on the corner of her mouth became even wider. It was not only because she had obtained the white jade spirit lotus that she had been longing for day and night, but also because she felt a joy in her heart. This kind of joy had really not appeared for many years. "Thank you for your trouble." Jade Fairy's charming eyes were like silk. Her delicate hand reached out to take the jade box and gently stroked it. Her eyes were filled with complex emotions. "Oh right, you can stay in Medicine Pavilion for the next few days. If you go out, the people of Profound Yin sect will definitely not let you go. After I concoct the white jade pill, my strength will be restored by more than half. At that time, I will personally go out with you. I would like to take a look. Yin Jushuan, do you think you have the guts to do that?" Jade Fairy kept the jade box into the storage ring and spoke with her red lips. Xiao Yan nodded without much hesitation. With his current injuries, it would be impossible for him to fully recover in a few days. Although he had the Xiao Ao, no one knew what tricks the Profound Yin sect would pull. "Thank you, Pavilion Master Yu." Xiao Yan patted his chest. A burst of pain came from his chest, and it felt like his whole body was going to fall apart. Jade Fairy smiled when she saw this. She reached out her hand and gently placed it on Xiao Yan's chest. Under the latter's puzzled gaze, a light flashed on Jade Fairy's forehead. A pure origin monarch key slowly flowed out. After Jade Fairy's hand entered Xiao Yan's chest, Xiao Yan immediately felt a heat flow from his chest to his entire body. The pain in his body seemed to have disappeared by more than half. He looked at Jade Fairy in surprise. This kind of ability was not something that ordinary origin monarch key could do. Jade Fairy faced Xiao Yan's gaze and smiled. Then, she nodded her head and said, "Let's go back to Medicine Pavilion first." As she spoke, Jade Fairy immediately walked over. Xiao Yan's face was full of doubt as he followed. Along the way, when talking about Yin Kang, Xiao Yan pondered for a moment and sighed emotionally. That guy was definitely one of the few true geniuses that he had met after coming to the Great World. The first one was Zhou Yuan, whom he met in Forest Domain. Unfortunately, the latter was nowhere to be found. As for the young generation of Shao clan, they still lacked some true killing intent. That guy is very powerful. He can use his own ability to comprehend the great Yin spirit arts. If there is a chance in the future, he might really be able to comprehend the Yin scroll. Jade Fairy heard Xiao Yan's words and could not help but smile. Deacon sect is a super first-rate sect in Mingyan Divine Domain. It has a saint-level cultivation technique in the Yin scroll in the Yin and Yang scroll. Correspondingly, it is the Heavenly Sky sect with the Yang scroll. She thought for a moment. Jade Fairy's voice was as gentle as jade, making people feel as if they were in a spring breeze. "Oh right, I know a part of the secret arts in the Yin scroll. Do you want to learn it?" Jade Fairy suddenly turned her head and looked at Xiao Yan with a smile on her face. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.